Welcome to a Gamzu Games production of Gameplay Made Easy. Today we are going to be going over the instructions for Ticket to Ride board game. Ticket to Ride is one of the most popular board games and is our best seller. Once the board is set up and play is ready to begin, the board will look like this. We will provide the rules and instructions so that it is easy to get the game set up and to play Ticket to Ride. Start by laying the board out in the center of the table. Then give each player their plastic train cars. This game can be played with 2 to 5 players. Today, for teaching this tutorial, we will set it up as if we were going to play with 3 players. In addition to the 45 train cars, each player is dealt a scoring marker. This marker is placed at the 0 spot on the outside of the board to start the game. Throughout the game, this marker will be used to track the scores of each individual player. Now we shuffle the train cards and deal 4 to each player. Each player may look at their own cards, but they should not be shown to anyone else. Place the remaining cards at the bottom of the board or next to whichever player is going to act as the dealer. We turn the top 5 train cards face up along the bottom of the board. These will be used throughout the game as players take their individual turns. Now we are going to take the longest route card and set it to the side of the board. This card is awarded to the player who has the longest continuous train route at the end of the game. It is worth an additional 10 points when scores are tallied. Next, shuffle the destination cards. Once shuffled, deal 3 to each player. This card gives each player destinations that they are trying to achieve. If they successfully build the destination route, they get the points on the card when the board game is ended. If you don't complete your route, the points are deducted from your total. Once the cards are dealt, place the remaining cards next to the train cards in front of the dealer. On this destination card, you will see that you have to build a route from New York to Seattle. In order to do this, you are going to have to build across the country. Each player should look at their destination cards. You are required to keep at least 2 of the routes, but may keep all 3 if you so choose. If you choose to discard one of your routes, simply put it back on the bottom of the draw pile. I am a fairly aggressive player, so I like to keep all 3 of my routes. But if you're just starting and want to get a feel for the game, you may want to pick 2 routes that are close together and can utilize some of the same routes to complete the destination card. You will want to keep your destination cards a secret from the other players. If they know where you are going, it can help them avoid your routes or build through them to make it harder for you. Now that we have Ticket to Ride set up, we are ready to start playing the board game. The player who is the most experienced traveler goes first. Play continues clockwise until the game ends. On each turn, a player may do one of the following 3 things: draw a train card, claim a route, and draw destination tickets. There are 9 types of train cards. Each color corresponds with the color of a route on the board. Train cards are blue, orange, purple, yellow, white, green, black, and red. There is also a multicolored locomotive card that is a wild and can be played as any color. When drawing train cards, you can draw 2 train cards from the ones that are face up, or from the top of the deck. Drawing from the top of the deck is called a blind draw. If you draw one of the face-up cards, the card is immediately replaced by one from the top of the deck. The player then draws their second card. If there is a locomotive card in the line of trains, the player may take it, but they only get to draw that card on their turn. Taking a locomotive card forfeits the right to draw your second card. However, if you blind draw and receive a locomotive, you may take an additional card. The second thing a player may do on a turn is to claim a route. A player may claim a route by playing the cards that are the same color and length of the route on the board. They then place their train cards on that route and move their scoring marker forward. Another example of this would be a player building from Salt Lake City to Las Vegas. That player would need to have 3 orange cards. They would place the cards in the discard pile and then build their route one at a time from Las Vegas to Salt Lake. When you claim a route like Santa Fe to Oklahoma City, you would need 3 blue train cards. Those cards would be turned in and you would add your trains to the board. Then we would move our scoring marker forward 4 spots because a 3-car route is worth 4 points. The third and final option any player can do on their turn is to draw destination tickets. You draw 3 tickets from the top of the pile. You are required to keep at least one of the destination tickets, but may keep 2 or 3 if you choose. Tickets that are discarded are placed at the bottom of the draw pile. One quick note if you're playing with only 2 or 3 players. You see on the board there are several places where there are routes that are side by side or double routes. These routes can be claimed by any player, and they can claim either side of the route. However, once a route is claimed, the other side of that double route is not playable, and play continues as if it were not there. Scoring your routes. The longer the route you claim, the more points it is worth. You can see the values of the routes on the scoring card, as well as at the bottom of the board. A 1-car route is worth 1, a 2-card route is worth 2, a 3-car route is worth 4, a 4-car route is worth 7, a 5-card route is worth 10, and a 6-car route is worth 15. If your draw pile for train cards runs out, shuffle the cards that have been played and are in the discard pile and put them back into the drawing pile. Now we understand all the rules and what each player may do on their respective turns. Play continues in this manner with each player taking 1 turn and taking one of the 3 available actions until a certain point is reached. That point is when a single player gets down to either 0, 1, or 2 trains left in their pile. At this point, each player, including that player, gets 1 additional turn. Once everyone has taken their final turns, the only thing you have left to do is to calculate the final scores. Your scoring marker should have already recorded all of the points that you've won by claiming routes. Now you determine who has the longest continuous train and award them the longest route card. That player receives an additional 10 points. Then add or subtract the points for your completed or your uncompleted destination tickets. The player with the most points wins. Thanks for joining us for this Gamzu Games production of Gameplay Made Easy. Now that you know how to play Ticket to Ride, feel free to pick it up at our website, gamzugames.com, and in just a matter of days, you'll be sitting down with your family and friends and enjoying one of our very favorite games.